When I was 23, I moved into my first place alone, an old, inexpensive rental house on a quiet street. It wasn't perfect. The ceilings were uncomfortably high, the basement was unfinished and dark, and the bedroom closet was huge and deep. But the rent was affordable, and I was excited to finally have my own space. A few weeks after settling in, I started noticing little things that didn't quite add up. Food would disappear faster than it should. A whole sleeve of crackers gone in a day. Half a jar of peanut butter emptied overnight. A couple of eggs missing from the carton. I'd come home from work and find a towel in the bathroom damp, even though I was sure I hadn't used it. Sometimes the dirty dishes I'd left in the sink would be washed and stacked neatly in the rack. I told myself I was just forgetful, or maybe exhausted from my new job. One Saturday, I decided to tackle a deep clean of my bedroom closet. It was one of those old-fashioned walk-in types, with a strange wooden panel at the very back that I'd never really examined. When I went to move some boxes, my hand brushed against it and it shifted. It wasn't nailed or screwed in place. It was just leaning there, like someone had carefully positioned it. My stomach dropped. Heart racing, I slowly pulled the panel away. Behind it was a narrow, hidden crawl space. And curled up inside, fast asleep on a nest of my own missing blankets and sweatshirts, was a man. He was surrounded by empty wrappers from my snacks, a small flashlight, a half-eaten box of my cereal, and a few of my personal belongings. He'd clearly been living there for weeks, maybe longer. I let out a scream that woke him instantly. His eyes snapped open in panic, but before he could move, I shoved the panel back into place and bolted out of the room, out of the house, and into my car where I frantically called the police. When the officers arrived and searched the space, they found that he'd been entering the house through a loose vent on the exterior wall that led into the crawl space, beneath the floorboards. From there, he could quietly push aside that panel in my closet whenever I was at work. He'd been showering in my bathroom, eating my food, using my things, and sometimes when I was home asleep just feet away, he'd been right there on the other side of the wall. The worst part was remembering all those nights I'd woken up with the chilling feeling that someone was watching me. I'd always dismissed it as anxiety or an overactive imagination. He was homeless, the police said, and had done this before in other houses. They arrested him on the spot. I moved out less than a week later. Even now, years down the line, I still check every closet, every corner, every shadow before I turn off the lights at night. Let's never meet again.